Hey everyone, this is Pig for Life, and in today's Transformers video review, we'll be taking a look at Hasbro's Transformers Generation Voyager class Optimus Prime from their new Combiner Wars line. So he is one of the Voyagers from the first wave of the Combiner Wars line, but let's go ahead and take a look at packaging first. So the packaging is in this black and red deco, which is kind of the new deco that they're going with the Combiner Wars line. You can see we have a really good view of Optimus in robot mode, and you can see some of his weapons, as well as a artwork card, I guess, not even a stat card because they don't really have stats, but in any case, you also get a nice picture of Optimus. You get the Combiner Wars logo and Optimus Prime's name with the Autobot logo that carries around to the side of the box. And here's where it gets kind of interesting. In the Combiner Wars line, and I guess the comics, Prime does combine into a Gestalt to form Ultra Prime. So he is number 3 of 5 to form Ultra Prime. So very interesting take. So I haven't seen any of the comics yet. I don't even know if they're out yet, but it'll be interesting to see Optimus as a Gestalt. So along the back, we do see some promo images of Robot and Alt mode. We see that he does transform in 9 steps, and we get a small bio of him at the top left. On the right is where we get more information about his combiner form. So again, when he's combined, he is Ultra Prime. They show him off with the Wave 1 Deluxe figures, mostly Superion and 1 Menasor limb. So it's supposed to be Skydive, Alpha Bravo, Prime, then we have Firefly and Dragstrip to make Ultra Prime, which makes little sense. And the explanation that Hasbro officially gave was that basically the production kind of went awry, and instead of having all the Superion's limbs, they had to substitute in Dragstrip, and we're going to get Air Raid in Wave 2. Alright. The rest of the packaging is pretty ho-hum. We have an image of the Autobot logo here, and on the top and on the bottom is just really just packaging production information. So nothing interesting there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get Optimus open and start with robot mode review. So here we have Optimus out of packaging, and he comes with a few things which are standard for the Combiner Wars line. He has this art card, which has really nice artwork. I don't know who the artist is for this one. It's not what you're seeing here with the Combiner Wars figure. It's a lot different. I really like this design much more than this figure that we're going to be reviewing right now, actually. And there's nothing on the back, just the Transformers Generations logo. You do get an instruction booklet, which is kind of accordion style. I really don't like how they did this. I would have preferred a regular booklet, but it shows how to get from robot to alt mode to robot, and then on the back it shows you how to get into Ultra Prime mode. But you're watching this review, so you're not going to need that. You also get his weapon, which is actually 2 weapons in one. They also combine, so in the same theme of Combiner Wars. We'll actually look into that a little bit later. And we have Optimus himself. So let's go ahead and do a quick 360 of Optimus. And as you can see, he's really kind of blocky. He has the kind of the gorilla arms going on. A lot of kibble. I don't know why they always seem to give Optimus a lot of kibble on his arms. They did that with the Voyager figure classics mold, and I've gone on record saying that I think that mold is kind of weak, at least by today's standards, and I always get a lot of guff for that. But I mean, that's my opinion. But the same thing here. You have a lot of kibble on the front. The back also looks a little weird and hollow. I don't really like what's going on here. Honestly, overall, I don't really like the look of this mold. He has the grills here. They just look really funny. His arms are really long. They go all the way down to his knees, past his knees. That just looks really weird. And he doesn't really look a lot like Optimus, honestly. I mean, he just I guess Optimus is blocky, but he just has weird kind of lines everywhere with the entire silver here. I don't know. I just don't, I'm just not feeling this mold personally. I do like the head sculpt though. It is definitely IDW-ish in look. Oh, sorry. It's but I do like it. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job. Let's scroll up. Let's zoom in. So the head sculpt I do like. I think it's tiny for this mold. It's actually really tiny. But I dig the look of it. It has a very unique mask that has these lines on the side, on either side. Nice blue eyes. I like the crest. I like the overall design. It has like shorter antenna than we're really used to. But overall, I like the head sculpt. I didn't think I would, but he looks quite good. It's just that compared to the rest of his body, it definitely is small. He does have a small ball joint, so you don't get a lot of movement up and down or side to side. You can go through 360 though. Alright, let's zoom out and go ahead and do some articulation. So articulation wise, he has a lot going on. So he does have shoulders that go all the way around. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have weird elbows. So they're kind of double jointed, but the top joint is actually for going backwards for transformation. Going forward, you only really make use of the one elbow joint, and you get a solid 90 degrees. He doesn't have any wrist articulation. He does have it move up like this for transformation, kind of like the way Silverbolt does. And then he has this arm kibble here. He does have waist articulation. It goes all the way 360. His butt plate kind of gets in the way, so if you want to tuck this up, you can do that. That's kind of an alternate, I guess, transformation if you'd like. Have it tucked up. It makes for, I guess, less obstruction, but then it makes him look really kind of, I don't know, like thin around the waist area. So I prefer down, but again, it's up to you. As far as, oh, I didn't show the shoulders that go out here. Nice ratchets go out on the shoulders there. He does have softer ratchets going out that way. Very tight ratchets going out here. You can see just how far past the ratchet I really need to go before it actually snaps back into place. Very loud. He does have like a upper knee swivel. He does have a really nice knee bend. And he has kind of toe articulation, mostly for transformation purposes. But yeah, that's it for robot mode. Again, I think he just doesn't look right to me. I mean, I guess he's just different, and I'm kind of a G1 purist in what I kind of want from my Optimus. And the fact that he's a combiner, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We'll see if it makes sense in the comics that come out. As far as the gun, I showed it off before. It's a really big gun. Again, it's probably more situated, more situational for combine mode to have a really big gun like this. I don't know why they have red handles. I guess they molded it in red and then they painted it. I just don't know why they didn't paint everything or mold it out of a darker color. But yeah, this is really long. You can split it apart and dual wield. I also don't like the look of the handles. They didn't even make it try to look like anything. It is kind of interesting that they made this stuff kind of look like an engine block, and we'll see how it gets used later in alt mode. It actually combines kind of like this and sits on the back. But they also have ports at the top, so I guess later you might be able to combine it into something weird like this, or I don't know. I haven't gone through and transformed him into combine mode yet with all the limbs. cause I'm gonna save that for another video review. But yeah, this is really it for robot mode review. Let's go ahead and as far as transformation, what I'm gonna do is go from robot to alt mode, and then from alt mode to combine mode, and then back the other direction to show you guys how to do all the transformations. Alright, so let's go ahead and do robot to alt transformation. Pretty easy. The first thing you're going to want to do is actually push down on either side of this panel up here. This is on a rotating pin or hinge or whatever what do you want to call it. You can rotate it around and you get the Autobot logo. Mine, you might be able to see it, has a really crappy paint application and is crooked, so pretty disappointing, but I honestly don't care that much about this figure, so I'm not going to complain. Next thing, what else are we going to do here? I think what they have you do is point out the toes, and then you're going to want to basically lift this up like this, straighten this out, and lift it up like so. And then you're going to, so you have a weird hinge here that goes at the waist. You're going to want to push it up like this, and then you want the legs to be straight down, and then you're going to want to bend the knees 90 degrees. Oh, I'm sorry, so the legs aren't supposed to be 90 degrees. So this is supposed to be 90 degrees to this, and these knees actually move up, these thighs move up a little bit more. You can also tab in the legs together like so. Let's see what we're doing. Oh, you need to rotate the arms 180 degrees. You're going to untab the shoulders and have that come around like so. And these two halves come together. You're going to rotate the elbows, tab them in, both halves in at some point. And then you're going to flip these panels up. There's a slot here for this tab. Same thing on this side. I did something wrong clearly. What did I do wrong? Oh, there we go. I had to push that in a little bit more. And then one thing that a lot of people miss is you have a small tab here that goes underneath this red part. It's easiest to see like that. Do that for both sides. Just make sure all these things stay tabbed in. Mine doesn't stay tabbed in all that well, honestly. And I'm not really sure why. Oh, for this, this is supposed to go... It looks fine like this, but if you leave it like this, the legs are not going to be straight on the ground. So your actually official transformation has to go like this, and that gives you that extra clearance to get these legs straight so that it actually sits flat on the ground. And then these two, and the other reason you need to flip this up is if you want to store the weapons in alt mode. Again, they kind of form two halves of an engine block, which I don't know why you would have an engine block on where the trailer hitch is supposed to be, but you can have these in, and they don't even sit close together. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a fine storage, I guess. But yeah, there we have Optimus in alt mode. And this just doesn't do a lot for me. I mean, it is a different style of a tractor trailer, I guess. But I don't know, they didn't do a very good job. Like, for example, here, this gray piece doesn't match at all. I mean, it should be red up here. There's windows here, so there should be red down here, red around here, and then this blue, which is not even the same color as this from what oh, maybe it is, but it doesn't look the same. I don't know why. This is a lot shinier and lighter. They didn't paint that here or here. The front grille just looks kind of funny to me. I don't know. Like, same thing here. This should be kind of painted red around here, around the grill. It just seems like it has a lack of detail. So it's kind of a poor representation of Optimus to me. I mean, he's Optimus. He deserves better. He's your #1 selling figure character. Also, this, I didn't point this out in robot mode, but I don't like why these are gray. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they're doing random odd colorings. It doesn't make the figure look better. It makes it weird. Like, I don't know. Okay, that's my rant complaint about the alt mode. It does roll pretty well. The alignment's kind of weird. If you look at it from top to bottom, you can see it gets wider at the legs, so the wheels are not even in line with each other. Most of it does hide the robot mode pretty well, aside from the fists, though. So that's a plus, I guess. So let's go ahead and jump straight into alt to combiner, and you're mostly actually going back into. I'm gonna scroll this up a bit. You're actually going pretty close back to robot mode. So you're gonna get these untabbed. You're gonna fold these down. And you're gonna bring the arms forward like so. Split them in the middle. You're gonna want to fold these. Well, sorry. There's tabs on here that go into the windows. Make sure you do that to keep it tight. You're going to want to fold these all the way up. And you want it to fold up so it looks like... So there's a tab here and a slot here in the gray piece. You want to make sure that those are tabbed together. And then you want to fold the fist down like that. Same thing on the other side. Get that tab in there. Fold this down. And that gives you access to the combiner port. This you're going to fold down, bring the legs down. Get this out of the way for now. You're going to rotate 180 at the waist. You're going to split the legs. You're going to rotate 180 outwards like so. And this is where it gets kind of a... There's definitely a pattern you need to go to. You have to go kind of like 2 ratchets out. And then bend these knees kind of like so. And you gotta do it kind of by feel. You have this tab here on the thighs and this corresponding slot here. So you're gonna fold this up and you just need to kind of feel around for it. It's hard to give you instructions for. Oh, sorry, maybe it was 3 ratchets out. Yeah, 3 ratchets, my apologies. 3 ratchets out. You want to fold these toes out, which will give you access to the combiner ports. Then you're going to fold this crotch piece down, but you actually, there's a double hinge here. You want to actually push this all the way up, and then fold this down. Alright. You're going to open up this, I don't know, this hump piece. And you're going to want to pull up the head, but not just the head itself. You actually want to pull up this entire gray piece. And rotate that up. And you're supposed to leave this open. And I think this just looks ridiculous. I guess it's because you can put in some like legend sized figures to fill in the chest. You can see that it's kind of matrixy in here. If you want, you can. I think it makes much more sense to have this closed. It doesn't look great, but it looks. I think it looks better than having these big things like that. Even if you put a figure in here, it still looks really really weird. He has a huge chest. But this is the official transformation for combine mode. His shoulders are also, the combiner ports are really far back. I'll show this off when I do full combine mode of him, of Ultra Prime in another video. But he just looks kind of ridiculous, to be honest. He also has this furious cap here. The shoulders are all the way back past where his head is, and into this gap area, it looks really ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this figure is very good. One thing that you can do though, again, if you want to close this up, you can do that. Another thing that I kind of like doing is closing these panels up and giving a little bit more back here. Like here, it looks... I mean, both ways look fine. I don't know why. I just kind of prefer to kind of fill it out like so, to make him look like he has more of a back, and to sort of fill out this gappy area on the back. But yeah, this is his Ultra Prime. Well, I guess officially this is his Ultra Prime combined mode. The head sculpt is okay. I don't love it. I don't know why. It gives me kind of like, I don't know why. It gives me kind of a Predator-like feel to it. I'm not sure what that is. He has a ginormous forehead. I don't understand that. I also don't like the alternate colored antenna or earpieces or whatever you want to call it. I just think that looks really silly, kind of like with the feet. Why do that? It just looks really weird. His head also in this mode is still pretty small for when you combine them all up. But again, if you like this figure, definitely go pick him up if you like. Let's go ahead and hurry up and transform him back, just so you guys can see how to transform him from combined mode to alt, and then alt back to original robot. So pretty easy. Go ahead and fold this gray piece down, fold the antenna forward, and then close up these two halves. You're going to want to pull this up like so. The legs, fold these gray flaps down. Pull these ratchets straight. Combine the legs together, fold these down. Rotate at the waist. Do that weird kind of accordion thing here. You're going to want to push back on this waist here. Pull the legs forward. Then get the rear legs to be perpendicular to the ground, or parallel to the ground. For the front, go ahead and fold up the fists, untab them, rotate them 180. Oh, maybe I did that. Nope, I'm sorry. Was not supposed to rotate at the shoulders 180 to get these pieces together. Fold the arms down to get the front of the cab. Fold these flaps up and tab them in. Again, the tab being here and the slot there. Just get these halves together. And then, again, last but not least, don't forget to get these blue tabs underneath the red sections. Like so. And there you have him in alt mode again. And then we'll go ahead and transform into robot mode. So again, we're actually kind of going back into combined mode, but go ahead and release those legs, fold these panels down, fold the arms forward, split them, open up to the chest, tab these side view mirrors in, rotate the arms 180, bring the legs down, separate them, pull the toes forward, and then at the top, rotate the head panel. And then again with the back, do what you like. You can keep it up here like this, or you can kind of fold it up like so. You might even be able to, yeah, I guess you can do this as well if you want. I think I've seen some people do that. I think that looks the worst out of all of them, but go ahead and get him back into official robot mode. So what are my final thoughts on Combiner Wars Voyager class Optimus Prime? If you can tell throughout the video, I've been clearly disappointed with the use of this mold for Optimus. I do think this mold was clearly designed for Motormaster, which makes sense since he is an actual combiner. and he's going to be part of Wave 2. And I figured they probably said, how can we reuse this mold, and who else is a truck? Oh, Optimus. Well, cool. It would be cool if Optimus is a combiner. I don't know if that's going to be part of the comic storyline or not, but I don't think that was a win for me personally for a number of reasons. Number one being, Optimus is the front and center of the Transformers universe. Everybody knows who he is that knows the franchise, and to have him be a remold doesn't make sense because everyone's going to be like, well, this doesn't look very Optimus. You're making compromises to make him fit to another character's mold, even if it is a pretty hefty remold. It just doesn't do Optimus justice, in my opinion. And also the idea of combiner Optimus never appealed to me. I know some people will like the idea, but for me, no. I do also have problems with a lot of the mold itself. The head is really small, like I said before. The arms are really long. The kibble on the arms is really annoying to me because it reminds me of Classics Optimus, which has also a lot of kibble on the forearms. And I've gone on record and gotten blasted from you viewers that I do not particularly like that mold. I think it's a fine mold for the time being, for back in the day when it was first released, but the fact that they're still using that mold as late as last year, I think it's definitely shown its age. Other things that I complain about are this. Like, what's going on, Hasbro? You make toys as a living, and Hasbro and Transformers is one of your main lines. You can't do leg ratchets or arm ratchets well. Like, arm ratchets aren't that bad, but the legs, you have a choice of this or straight up and down, which is not obviously very dynamic or action figure-like. I mean, how can third-party companies always nail ratchets and you guys are terrible at it? And that's just unacceptable to me. The other really big unacceptable thing to me is this. We talked about it before. Why is this even molded in this color? Probably because it was designed for Motormaster, where most of the molds were black anyway, but then they realized when they made Optimus, oh, this piece is in the same mold as these gray pieces, and they didn't bother to paint it. It looks really disjointed, and it's front and center in alt mode. I mean, well, front and side if you want to be technical, but yeah, they could have molded this red and it would have blended in at least a little bit, but they didn't, and it just shows how lazy they were with this mold, remold. So I don't think it does Optimus justice. I think there are better Optimus Primes out there. I think it's a pretty easy pass. I don't think the mold is bad, but when you see my review of Motormaster, you'll see that I'm much happier with that take on the mold than with Optimus. Alright, if you disagree with what I said or want to blast me again for saying I don't like the classic mold that much, go ahead and leave that in the description and in the comment section below, and I'll cry myself to sleep every time you guys say that. And then if you do like my review and the transformation and information helped you out and you did decide to pass or at least make a more informed decision, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep up to date with my other reviews and news, including more Combiner Wars and other figures that are coming up, go ahead and click the subscribe button up here. And last but not least, if you still want to pick up this guy or any other figure in the Combiner Wars series and have had a hard time actually finding them in your store, you can always pick them up at my sponsor, Toy Dojo. They have most of these figures in stock. Wave 2, most of them are coming, and it would show a lot of support if you checked out their store, and would help you out as well, save you some gas and time. And Toy Dojo is always fantastic about customer service, so I always highly recommend them, obviously. Alright? I think that's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.